Hey, how's it going? No, you are not seeing things. I have already posted this video yesterday, but I wasn't happy with it, so I decided to redo it, and I actually found a few mistakes, so I'm glad I did. So it's my top 10 David Bowie albums of all time. So as it's a top 10, there's going to be quite a few albums, great albums, that aren't in this list. So I do apologise if some of your favourites aren't in there, but do let me know in the comments below what your favourites are. And I'm not going to go into too much detail about them because I want to make this video quite short. Alright, so we're going to start off with my number 10, and it's going to be a mixture of vinyl albums and CDs. Okay, so my number 10 pick is from 1970, I think this was, or 71. I think it's 71, and it's The Man Who Sold the World, and it was produced by Tony Visconti. This is probably one of David Bowie's most heavy or hard rocking albums. It reached number 21 in the UK and number 105 in the USA. I didn't know it went up that high, but that's what it says here. Okay, so that is number 10, The Man Who Sold the World. Right, my next pick is number 9, and it is Heroes. And this came out in 1977, and it reached number 3 in the UK and number 35 in the USA. It was quite a low placing in the USA. So that is Heroes, again produced by Tony Visconti, and it's one of his more experimental albums, but I love it. Okay, at number 8. Now, some of you might think this is a bit of a low placing. I mean, it's a great album, but you know, it's really not easy to put these in the right order. Okay, so number 8 is Diamond Dogs. This came out in 1974, reached number 1 in the UK and number 5 in the US of A. Fantastic, great artwork. This is one of the Ryko editions that's got some really brilliant bonus tracks. I've got a few of them, and they're quite hard to come by now. Okay, so that is number 8 and Diamond Dogs. Okay, at number 7, an album from 1975, and it was his soul period, or Plastic Soul, and it's Young Americans. This reached number 2 in the UK and number 9 in the USA. Okay. At number 6, Scary Monsters. Now, this is often regarded as the last great Bowie album, or certainly the last in a series of fantastic albums in the 1970s. This actually came out in 1980. It reached number 1 in the UK and number 12 in the USA, and that's Scary Monsters. At number 5, the album is Low. I love this album. It came out in 1977, reached number 2 in the UK and number 11 in the USA. I remember when this came out, it was a real shock to the music critics, because up until this point they pretty much loved everything David Bowie had done, but when this came out, it was so they couldn't put it into a category. They didn't know whether to give it a fantastic review or a terrible review, because it wasn't pop, it wasn't rock, it was, you know, really experimental, but all the better for it. And of course, it's now become one of his most loved albums, and it's an outright classic, and that's Low at number 5. Number 4, Station to Station. This is a masterpiece. This came out in 1976, reached number 5 in the UK and number 3 in the USA. Look at that artwork. Very minimal, quite bleak looking, but it really complements the music. Quite experimental, a little bit of soul on Golden Years too. So I love this album very much, and that is number 4, Station to Station. Okay, right, this is where it gets really difficult, and I think the top 3 could change at any given moment. They're all worthy of the number 1 spot, in my opinion. But I'm afraid I've had to put at number 3, Aladdin Sane, which was actually the first David Bowie album I heard and bought, actually. But I initially had it on cassette tape. Somebody had made me a copy at school, and it just kind of blew my mind. It's a real glam rocky album, great songs like Jean Genie, Driving Saturday, Lady Grinning Soul. Not a bad track on here. Fantastic iconic artwork. You've got that gatefold there. Incredible. That's number 3, Aladdin Sane. Right, you probably have guessed what's left now in the top 2, but what order are they going to be in, eh? Right, number 2, The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. And this came out in 1972. It reached number 5 in the UK, number 21 in the USA. What can I say that hasn't already been said? This is a classic album. If I was to pick one album to represent the best of the 1970s, I think I would pick this. It's just fantastic. If you don't have it in your collection, you like pop and rock, what are you doing? Okay, number 2, Ziggy Stardust, which can only mean at number 1, and oddly enough, I don't have this on vinyl, Hunky Dory. This came out in 1971, and it reached number 3 in the UK and number 57 in the USA. That seems quite low. Right, now this wasn't a hit upon release, and it only reached those chart positions after the success of Ziggy Stardust, which quite often happens. So it's just a fantastic album. The single Life on Mars is on here. It's slightly more acoustic than the sort of glam rockers of Ziggy Stardust and Aladdin Sane, but I think it's one of his best. That's why it's at number 1. I've got 2 editions. I've got this one as well, and I bought this one because this is a better reproduction of the original artwork. You've got like a black border going around here, and the back is exactly as it was on the vinyl. One of my pet peeves is when they bring out new editions of albums. It could be on vinyl or CD, and they change the artwork. Why? No need for it. Okay, anyway, enough of that. That's my top 10. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do another top 10 in the next few days probably, and it's going to be my top 10 David Bowie albums after Scary Monsters, because generally speaking I think anyone's top 10 is going to have his sort of 70s period, but he had some great stuff certainly in the 90s and towards the end of his career, so I'm going to be featuring those. Okay, so look out for that. Thanks very much for watching. I really appreciate people who have subscribed, and I will be back shortly. Bye bye.